Good morning. My name is Tim, and I'm with the channel Tabletop Terrors. I hope you're having a good Saturday so far. It's going to be a quick offhand attack because I had a couple of thoughts pop into my mind. Here at Tabletop Terrors, whether you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, we genuinely believe that everyone can be more creative, and we prove it using tabletop games. And I am driving, but I'm going to set down the phone for a Tabtarian toast. We're also going to see how this landscape does for the video. I think it's going to mess up my whole life here. It's going to be awful. So, may you mend the first break. May you kill the first snake. And may you conquer everything you undertake. Slancha. So yeah, safety first-ish. The biggest mistake that I see with encounters reminds me of two kinds of meals that I can have. One, when I go out to a restaurant or I watch a cooking show. Two, when I cook out food on the grill. And so when I go out to a restaurant and I order a dish, there's something that strikes me, which is there's usually about 3 different flavors on the plate. But even in the midst of those 3 different flavors, one of the things I've learned on cooking shows is that there's also what we call the star of the dish. So the star of the dish is essentially the thing that should stand out the most. Okay? It's the thing that is most important when a customer purchases the dish. This should be the most dynamic, the most flavorful, the most interesting, and the most valuable, really. That's the first thing. The second thing I'm going to tell you in a second, but the overall advice is that you absolutely should keep your encounters much more simple. A huge issue that I've seen lately is people running encounter ideas by me, or I'll see them, run the encounter in the game, and the tone and the feel changes pretty drastically because of too many mechanics or too many things. It doesn't even have to be specifically mechanics, but too many high concepts playing around in the same area. And what happens is it becomes diluted. It actually becomes difficult to run the encounter. And so what you're doing is you're mixing in too many flavors. So as simple as this sounds, keep your encounters more simple. Hankering for Nail from Drunken and Dragons is the master of this. Just boom, here's one quick thing. Focus the spotlight on the players and let them get creative and inventive, and they'll add that extra oomph that you're probably looking for. But you don't have to prep a multitude of flavors and foods, quote unquote, encounter foods, because there should just be the star of the dish. What's the one cool thing about the encounter? Stick to that. Now, there can be other small things, but remember that every flavor that you layer in essentially means that you are lessening the potency, the zest, and the uniqueness of other flavors. So just remember that. Now, here's the other thing. I was telling you about barbecues, cookouts, family cookouts, and stuff like that. I'm the guy who buys way too much food. So I'm the guy who, we're going to have chicken, we're going to have a little steak, we're going to have hot dogs. I'm going to make brats. I also got a little shrimp. We're going to do some shrimp. I got a salmon steak for my dad, stuff like that. The problem with that is it's too much to get to, and your appetite is limited. So instead of trying to do 10 things decent, why not do 1 or 2 things really, really well? Same principle with encounters. And I like likening it to food in this case because there's only so much your stomach can hold. I mean, not mine. One person told me they were full once, and I said, what was that like? I'm just kidding. But the idea is that you can have all these cool encounter things prepped, but the players can only eat so much. Their appetite is only so big, and in this case, their stomach is the time and their attention span. That's what you're pretty much, fighting for. So just remember that. Keep things way more simple than you'd think. Absolutely put cool stuff in there. Put a couple of cool things in there. But again, liken it to the restaurant industry when you go out, or even like a cooking show where they're like, the star of the dish was the steak. And when you're prepping your encounters, don't try to cram too much in there, because you're me grilling out on like 4th of July. You have way too much stuff, and by the time you get to some of the things that you want to, number one, you're over time, and number two, the players are already full. So that would be my thoughts on encounters, and a big mistake that I see pretty frequently. If you do this, your game will change. If you want to be uncommonly good at D&D, throw us a subscribe. That's what we're all about here at Tabletop Terrors and being hyper creative. Alexander Kostic is here. What's up, man? And Krishname Sankar. Have you read The Lazy DM? Because that book echoes a similar piece of advice. I need to. I haven't. Matt Click of A Fistful of Dice is a big fan. I love Mike Shea's blog articles. I am so lazy as a DM that I've never read The Lazy DM, which is the worst. But I need to read that book, actually. I think I'm going to do that this weekend. From what I understand, it's a fairly short book, and it costs like $8 or something. So, anyway, I hope you guys have a great Saturday. I'm going to SeaWorld with my daughter. It's her first time going to SeaWorld. And so I will probably do some live streams from there, because I think that'll be cool. But yeah, I hope everybody has a great Saturday. I wanted to do this pretty early. I just actually got a couple repairs done on the car because we're driving, 30, 45 minutes away. Wanted to make sure we didn't get stuck over there. But we're probably going to grab some breakfast. It's my cheat day on the diet. And yeah, I think it's going to be great. Actually, that reminds me, one minor thing I wanted to mention, which is I think I'm going to start formally tracking and my weight loss and doing like fitness updates to help people stay motivated consistently. I'm not sure the format I'm going to do that yet. Maybe it'll be blog post, maybe it'll be dedicated offhand attacks, but I know that what I want to call it is Absolute Tabletop Minotaur. Why Minotaur, Tim? That's weird. Well, have you ever seen a Minotaur that was fat? Because I never have. Also, every Minotaur I've ever seen in every drawing ever is jacked. Like, they have biceps the size of me. So, Absolute Tabletop Minotaur. Stay tuned. I think that it's going to be fun. And I'm just going to take you on my fitness journey. I'm not a certified fitness trainer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not any kind of health coach. But I am a guy who's losing a ton of weight. And I'm feeling better than ever. So, if I can help other people, then I'm going to do that. I'll just make sure it doesn't take away from some of the other content. But Johnny Mendoza laughed. What's up? So anyway, love you guys. I'm going to end it here. Keep this nice and lean, just like a Minotaur. But yeah, have a great Saturday. I'll probably see you later on some live streams at some aquariums and stuff like that. So until next time, may your dice roll high.